Hi, everybody. Welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast. I'm Danny Vega, joined by my lovely, lovable meme queen co-host Sarah Levine. Sarah, how are you today?
Woo, yeah, I'm good. It was hot as fuck.
Quite stuffy out. Yep.
So humid. Like, I went on a run and I wanted to die. I had to actually stop and get water, and that cost me $2.75 for a small Poland Spring from Dwayne Reed. And I was like, wow, they're the assholes for sure for that.
Disgusting. Inflation, Dwayne Reed, everything I hate.
I was like, I thought this would be $1. That's pretty standard for, not the mini bottle, but like the small bottle of water. It wasn't even a giant one.
Give me a break, people. $2.75 for water. This scam city. I'm so
rough.
sick of the grifts, the minor grifts of this city. It's just brutal.
Right? I mean, the humidity itself is
the
a grift.
weather is a grift. It's like crazy. Why is it cold? I was thinking about this. I was like, it gets colder here. It gets colder in New York, and yet it's hotter now than in LA. It's unbelievable, this bullshit city.
Oh, that's weird. Really? Because I feel like it was only in the 70s, but it felt like it was on the surface of the sun because of the humidity.
Yeah, it's 72 and 30% humidity in LA right now. I don't know why I'm here because
the worst.
I'm still stuck on this girl like a moron. I hate my...
I mean, that, and it takes some time to pack up your stuff, you know.
I know. Yeah, well, I got dumped, everybody, so that's the juice for you. Obviously, there's more juice in the Patreon, but, you know, it's a lot of me whining and crying. I fucked up. I was the asshole. That's the,
I don't think so. It's like, I think you just maybe hastened an inevitable end, but someone would have done it. I also think it would have been you. Like, just based on the way that the relationship went, I think you would have just gotten blamed for something.
Probably. I mean, look, it wasn't a good relationship, unfortunately, which irks me also because I think we're both really great people. So I'm like frustrated. Like, why couldn't this be a good thing? And a lot of that has to do with me. Well, it is what it is. Anyway, I've just been in this weird holding pattern, and I mean, I'm less emotional already. It was weird because I said this on the bonus already, but there was like a 3-day grace period where I was like, oh, this isn't even that big of a deal. And then it hit. It really hit, and it hit hard.
Oh, yeah. And then it just surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty brutal. But of course, I have lots of tools now. Having been through 3 breakups in the last year, I was like, all right, we'll do the...
I was going to say something like it has been quite the breakup year.
Hey, I've hung out in the abyss a few times, and I know what to do down there. You gotta.
It's good.
You got to run. I mean, it's interesting, too, because I had really been not being able to run, and then I cracked 5K again, and I'm like, there it is. There's a...
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, there's a relationship.
I want to sign up for a 5K.
Sign up for a 5K or get dumped, and you'll be running like you don't even know you could.
Hopefully not. Yep.
And then I also slip into a soft mania is the only way to put it, because
Yikes.
I don't want to eat. I don't want to sleep, really.
That sounds like depression.
I guess. I don't know. It doesn't feel depressive. Like, yeah, I'm crying. I was crying during the day, but it feels like just manic.
Why?
Why? Because
I feel like not eating, not sleeping are like textbook depressions. Also, you mentioned crying.
I guess I just would not describe having been like more what I would consider depressive is like wanting to lay in bed all day. This is almost like in a state of alarm. It's like something very alarming has happened.
Like anxiety, maybe?
I wouldn't describe it as anxious, but yes, it's like just kind of like in a heightened state of awareness and consciousness. Time goes extremely slow. It's so annoying. Oh my God. Because guys, if you can imagine, I could only sleep like 4 to 5 hours for like 4 or 5 days. And then on top of that, so that means I'm having 19-hour days. Then time is going, it's like that, you know, when in Inception, when you're at the beach level, and in the beach, it's like thousands of years pass for every second. It's that.
Yeah.
That's where I was.
Good times.
For 4 to 5 days. Nothing feels good.
Jeez.
I don't want nothing. Nothing. There's like nothing I want to happen. Except to be back with her.
Well, nah, that'll pass.
No, it's pretty much
Sorry,
past.
I know that sounds kind of harsh, but like,
I know
it's true.
No, I know. And I mean, I think that's the other part of breaking up. It's just, you intellectually know, right? Like, no, I was thinking about this, like, no happy couple. They're like, anytime a breakup happens, it's the right choice, right? Because it means someone was unhappy in it. And so it really wasn't a
True.
good relationship, even if the other person thought it was, unless there was like cheating or something. But that wasn't the case here. And it's like, you know, in a sense, like, you don't see it coming usually, but you usually like know.
Well, one person usually doesn't, and that's the problem. Like, it does suck to be that person.
It does suck, but I think the other aspect is like, in a sense though, you know it's coming, right? On a deep level, like, because it resonates.
Oh,
and
yeah?
you're like, yeah, we had all these problems, and like, of course, it makes some degree of sense. It has to, right? Like, it doesn't. It feels like it comes out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
like when you look back,
Yes.
you can be
Yes.
like, okay, this does make sense.
Yeah, so it's put me in a very introspective place. I've been journaling like an insane person. My therapist ghosted me again. I got to get a new therapist.
God, the same one or a different
Same
one?
motherfucker. I sent him an email. I was like, these are my avails.
That's
No response.
Nuts.
No response. Not.
That's bonkers.
It's bonkers. And then I'm like, I got to get another MF. I got to tell them the whole backstory. That takes like 3-4.
That's a lot of work.
Ugh, it's so annoying. And but this time though, I'm getting a woman. I'm done with these guys. I'm getting a woman.
Yeah, I've never had a male therapist. I don't know that I trust it.
I don't think males are good with therapy. It's
Not like the concept, to be clear, but you know, I don't know. I just like, I don't see myself vibing with a male therapist.
yeah, this guy was kind of good because he was kind of challenging and he asked some good questions, but he also seemed a little like checked out at times. And there were times when I was like, hey, I can hear a sound. And he's like, I'm not making a sound. I'm like, motherfucker, like, yes, you are. Like, you're making a sound. Like, I can hear you playing with something or something. Like, like it's Zoom.
I mean, he sounds like kind of a jackass.
He
so.
is kind of a jackass, but I kind of liked him. I kind of thought he was a funny character. He sometimes wore a hat. I was like, this guy's wearing a hat
What?
right now.
I mean, when you say it that way, it seems like he wore a funny hat, but like, I'm just assuming it was a regular
No,
hat.
it was a hat, like a jungle hat. It was too much of a hat.
A jungle hat? What
I
is
don't
that?
know. I don't know what hats are called.
Now I sound like a Dr. Seuss, like, jungle hat? What is that? Was there a cat? All right.
I do have an update that's much more recent, actually. Speaking of male therapists, Sarah and I record 2 episodes on Wednesday. We usually like to take a little break, let it breathe a little bit. I was trying to get a massage. I kind of wanted a little massage. So I go to the masseuse place. I'd never been there before. And a guy kind of greets me. And I was like, hey, you know, are there any women available? I just generally prefer women. And he's like,
We did this exact situation.
well, yeah.
But it was the opposite because the girl was like, hey, I need someone who's like really fucking strong and gonna break my back. Like, I need a man.
Well, get ready for this. This is about to be the complete opposite of this situation.
Whoa.
So I was like, all right, fuck it. I was like, I want a massage. It's not ideal, but you know what? It's no big. As soon as my head is face down, like my muscles are going to get worked and it's going to be a great thing.
Yep.
Sure enough, okay, right away, and women do not do this. This has never happened to me. He gets on top of me.
What the hell?
Like I can feel his legs cross, like
My
not
God.
over my butt, but over my like higher thigh. And then it's like he's going so fast. It's like I'm being attacked. And so I was just like,
Jeez.
slow. And he's like, too hard? I'm like, slow. Too hard? No, slow. He didn't speak English really. And I was like, just
What the hell?
slower, dude. And the whole time, like he just had really no massage sense. Like just he's jabbing me. It's like hurting. He's doing lots of
Oh, welcome to sex with straight men. Is all I could. That is honestly hilarious.
I had that thought, Sarah. I had that
Yeah.
thought.
Yep.
But, you know, it really is just a communication game. Unfortunately, I could not communicate with this individual because he did not speak English. And or another way to phrase it is I did not speak, presumably, Chinese. So therefore, we could not communicate. And it was not a good time. He seemed to forget the slow note almost immediately. And then he just really relied heavily on a pulsing motion. So it basically felt like getting hammered. Like, oh, great. Yeah, getting hammered. It just felt like he
See?
was taking a hammer, just like beating me, and really getting no work done on my muscles. So I was like, he's so strong, though. He was very strong. So I was like, why don't you try pulling my arm? Guess what he did? He pulsed my arm.
Yanked it?
Yeah, he just like yanked it like repeatedly. I was like, don't yank it. Just steadily pull it and stretch it. Terrible, Sarah. Terrible. I did not.
Terrible? Are you making fun of me?
No. Do you say terrible?
Why did you say terrible?
Because it was terrible. It was horrible. It was terrible. It was unbelievable. I didn't have the...
That sounds bad. It sucks because it's like, we pushed our recording so you could relax, and now you just seem more stressed out.
No, yeah, now I'm in a worse place. I'm covered in a man's sweat, and like, for me, that's not ideal. But to also be covered in a man's sweat and then also be like, I don't know, like now I feel more tense. I'm like, I gotta, massage myself now. It's so annoying.
That sucks.
I didn't have the guts to not tip though. I gave him $3 on 27, which I felt like was notably shitty. I normally would give 10,
Yeah, not a great tip, but
But I was like, I can't even tell this guy how bad he sucks. The only thing I did was I ended it. Usually you wait for them to end it, and I was just like, I'm done. It got to a point where he was doing some random thing, and I was like, I can't anymore. I just need to go.
Yeah, you're like, just end it.
Ugh, God, now I got to shower after this, so...
That sucks.
But it did make me think about that, Sarah. I mean, it made me think just in general, and like we wwere dancing on this topic last night on the Zoom happy hour. By the way, join us on Patreon right after the episode. Patreon.com/AITA pod. We just broke 60 patrons. We're very excited about that. By the way, welcome Marianne and Caitlin. We'll do the call-in show. Let us know if you want to do the call-in show. You can do a sitch with me and Sarah. It's a great time. We do bi-weekly.
It's so fun. You can pick the sitch if you want.
Absolutely. Bi-weekly happy hours. What else do we do, Sarah? There's another thing we do. Oh, we got a merch store now.
We have a WhatsApp merch.
WhatsApp store. We got the cappuccino. We got all kinds of stuff. So, guys, we will see you in the Patreon after the show. Patreon.com/AITA pod. Anyway, so we're in the happy hour, and we were talking a little bit about men versus women because one of the members, said she hated hanging out with men, and I was like, really? I'm curious about that. And what it all came back down to was that men keep hitting on her. So I was like, okay, that's not as meaty as I thought.
Sorry, I would have just. It's a good thing I was there.
No, and I get that. I mean, I thought there was.
I do get it. Yeah, it seems like a brag when you put it that way. But, I mean, it is very annoying when people can't just treat you as a human.
Well, and she's not attracted to men. So for her, it's always a no-go. So.
Oh, that's doubly annoying.
Right? Super annoying. So.
Oh, then I a bajillion % get it, and I take it all back.
But I was really thinking, and I know a lot of this, or if not all of it, is just gender roles. But it's interesting to me. First of all, like most masseuses are women, and I was thinking, I was thinking about sex and just how important it is to communicate all of these things. Like I'm very demanding when I go to get a massage, and I know what I want. I know what I want from all these things. But yeah, I was just having the thought that like this guy really just had no, like, obviously I'm giving off signals that what he's doing is horrible, but he's not even picking up on that.
To use a word.
Yeah. And so it did kind of make me think like it's just important to be receptive and aware of these things, but it's also not necessarily straightforward. So you got to be communicative as well. But again, there was a massive language barrier between us.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, sucks.
All right, folks, let's do these things. DM us. Let us know what's going on. I'm loving all the interactions I'm having. It's always good to hear from you people. I mean, it's pretty much a 24-hour party in the WhatsApp and the Cappuccino, which is the exclusive sort of podcast that's put on. I don't know. It's not put on. It's just like an app that mimics a podcast. So anyway, you guys get it.
Also, we have new patrons, Marianne and Caitlin. Thank you guys for joining.
Heck yeah. I already mentioned them, Sarah. You don't remember that?
Oh, you did? Whoops.
I did.
Well, whatever.
Hey,
we're twice.
doubly appreciative. Yeah. Here we go. Let's do a little bit guess the verdict. We are on our last game of this, I believe, was a no-hitter. So we'll see what happens today, folks.
It was.
AITA for flaunting my engagement at a wedding.
I'm going to go with OP was not flaunting and someone asked her about it. And these people are dicks. And I'm going to go not the asshole.
Well, Sarah, I have to say your analysis was incredibly impressive. In fact, you're 100% right, except...
Whoa!
That was not the verdict. So
no! What the hell?
The couple went to Italy and then for like, I don't know, 14 days or something. They got engaged on day 2. They throw up the Insta post. They killed it on likes, people. Went to the wedding on day 9. They did not bring it up at the wedding, the rehearsal dinner. They only answered questions when asked, exactly as Sarah, who I got to give credit to, really read this thing right. They only asked questions when asked. Nobody said, and that's it. That was their approach here. The couple, they found out, was furious and said they should have waited till after the wedding to post. Top comment by Who Fears Death. I do. No assholes here. But in your shoes, I personally would have waited. Obviously, it isn't the same thing, but I remember an episode of The Crown mentioning that Prince Anne couldn't announce her engagement until after the Queen gave birth. I think the same general protocol would hold for etiquette's sake. Don't announce it at the wedding or related events. I'd say on the wedding trip counts as related.
Yeah, I definitely agree that it counts.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great piece of advice to internalize. And you know how people are about their weddings. For a lot of people, it's the most important thing that happens to them. You got to let them have their little spotlight and not step on that in any perceivable way.
Yeah, I think getting engaged on like someone else's wedding trip is like, and announcing it before their wedding is a little tacky.
It's a little tacky.
Yeah.
Tactless.
Okay. So, wait, I'm sorry. I missed the verdict. I got wrapped up in the circumstances.
They said no assholes here.
Huh. Yeah, I guess that's fine. I could go with that. Okay. AITA for not paying my share of a reservation even though I didn't go.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm assuming this is a place that zaps you then. That's how that works. But they probably didn't go for a good reason because somebody did something messed up. So, I don't know. See, I'm so bad at this. Sarah read the other one so good. That was crazy how right she was. I don't know yet. For some reason, my gut actually wants to say YTA, but you're probably tricking me. I'm going to say NTA.
Ooh, you're right. I was tricking you. The situation is actually super cut and dry. So, a bunch of OP's friends reserved a football field, invited him to come. OP overslept and didn't even bother showing up because it was a 90-minute commute or a $15 taxi. And basically, they're like, you have to pay because you didn't come. So they were like, OP basically said, nobody mentioned that you have to pay even if you don't show up. It just feels wrong for them to ask me to pay up. Top comment from Sly Dog 4100. YTA, you agreed to share the cost, and the only reason you didn't show up was because you couldn't be bothered after oversleeping. Why should the rest of the folks who actually did follow through with the commitment they made have to pick up your slack ass? I love it. So yeah, it was a YTA.
It was a YTA, and I said NTA.
You did.
God dang it. Ugh.
We're both wrong. Okay.
So frustrating. AITA for taking a night off.
Night off. No. Okay, this is what I'm thinking now. Well, it could be two things. It could be work, but this is bad. This is really just a testament to how long I spent on Reddit that I'm like, no, I think what it is like the wife does all the childcare, took a night off, husband's pissed. Okay, so I'm going to go NTA.
NTA is wrong. Interestingly, you were right, though, in a lot of ways. So it's actually written.
I gotta get off the internet.
Yeah, well, your mistake was thinking that OP was the wife. OP was the husband.
Okay.
So Olivia, their daughter, who's 6, has ulcerative colitis. I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, it sounds terrible, surely. So basically, they always sleep with her, and they're on some kind of schedule with it, you know. But they're divorced, I guess, because they have different houses. So probably. And OP basically...
Or they're just rich.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'll take this house, you take that house.
Rich and very eccentric.
Yeah.
So Olivia says, like, I guess she wouldn't sleep Friday night, and then OP was so tired on Saturday, he decided to take the night off and sleep in the guest room. But Olivia is used to having one of the parents sleep with her. So then the other parent was like, you're a piece of shit. Why didn't you sleep with her? Top comment. Ooh. YTA, I'm sure Olivia would love a night off from being sick and in pain.
Aw, that's true.
Sounds terrible. I actually was slept with. My mom slept with me. I'm not sure exactly how long, but my recollection is 10 years old. I coughed a lot as a kid. I was kind of a sickly child.
Just funny to hear yourself talk about yourself as sickly.
I was a sickly child, ladies, and now I'm single. So if you want to be with someone whose mommy slept with them till they were 10 years old, can you imagine that? Totally normal.
Oh boy. Okay, here we go. This could be a shutout, or you could take the game, but no pressure.
Oh.
AITA for not driving my brother to counseling.
Oh, no, no, no. How are you so good at these, Sarah? Nothing comes to my mind. I'm just like, okay, they're brothers. He said he would take them. Now he's not taking them. So he's the asshole. Okay, let me do it this way, because guys, I can win here, so I'm gonna take some time. All right, so, okay, it's not ESH. There's no way it's ESH. How could it be ESH? That would be insane. All right, could it be no assholes here? Could be no assholes here. All right, we'll come back to that. YTA. What was the question again?
For not driving my brother to counseling.
That's too obvious. Would she really do that? That's what she did on the other one. So I'm out with YTA. So that leaves NTA and NAH. He's going to counseling, so you would think he has his shit together. It's risky, guys. It's insane. I'm gonna go NAH.
Oh man. This is the pinnacle of my mind fuckery.
God damn it.
Oh, yes, you were onto something. The verdict was YTA, and this guy is just an asshole. Short and sweet asshole.
You did a double obvious.
Okay.
You did a double obvious. Fuck you. You got me.
Double obvious. That's the mindfuck. It's like when you play rock 2 times in a row on rock, paper, scissors.
Killing me.
Oh, man. Okay, so OP's 18, has a 16-year-old brother who started counseling. Has an appointment today, but the mom is working when she usually doesn't. So she gave the brother money for a taxi. And the brother asks this morning if OP can take him. He says, no, I don't want to. He goes, no, but like, I'll pay you for gas and I'll pay you for the journey because he has the money mom gave him. OP says no again, just because he doesn't want to. So yeah, that guy is just being an asshole for no reason. The tab comment from Mizzy Von Muffling, wow, love that, says, is there a reason you won't drive him? If it's just attitude, then YTA, he needed your help.
Oh my God. Ugh.
Wow. We're both getting too advanced.
Another shutout, guys. It's like, it makes me feel like we're not expert. I don't know, Sarah. The way you read the situation, I mean, that's impressive, guys. There's got to be, I don't know what job you can do, but you deserve just the way you nailed it. You really nailed details.
I'm telling you, like, just the amount, everything, like, starts to be the same. Like, I had to stop reading Reddit relationships because just every post was the same.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I gotta admit, I mean, look, I'm reading at least, probably 5 to 10 situations a week by posting them on the Facebook, and then...
Oh, I'm reading, like... 3 a day.
Yeah, you're really crushing it.
Sometimes I read it before I go to bed. Actually, I do that often.
You're really crushing it. No, I get Am I the Asshole out, you know? I feel like I get enough.
I know. I don't know why. It's like a sick compulsion.
I think it's great. I think you're the expert. I'm really blown away. The way you nailed that the couple was discreet. That shit blew my mind. That was like, you know what that was? Yeah. That was like in the Matrix when the guy's looking on all the ones and zeros on the screen, and then he's just like, there it is. Like, that's a dog. That's a stop sign.
Yes.
That's you.
Yes, and like the Hangover when he's counting the cards. Yeah. That's me.
Yeah. You're just looking at you're like, that's an unhappy couple. That's a woman who's doing too much housework. Awesome. Right? Guys, please submit AITApod.com. Please leave us reviews. Actually, I think we got a little sweet review here. Leave us a review. Leave us a 5-star review. Ideally, I would love it, you know. That would be great for us. It helps the podcast grow. It's a really good thing. We got this review from Lizzie. I heard about these guys through Keith and the Girl, and now I'm hooked. I spent years trying to find another podcast I can enjoy as much. And this is it. Well, Lizzie, that is such an amazing compliment. We love Keith. We love Hemda.
Yeah.
We love Keith and the Girl. It's an absolute honor that you would find us as enjoyable as them. So thank you.
Yeah, truly. Thank you.
Guys, please leave us reviews. Please join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. We would love for you to join right after the episode. Hit us up in the WhatsApp. I mean, it could be really a special night for you. The night your life changed and you went from an ordinary Joe or Joanne to a Judge Judy, people, or a Judge Jude.
Man. What an origin story.
I mean, your life will never be the same. Once you enter this universe, it's really something different.
Oh, it's so true. It actually is very fun.
It's very fun, guys. It's popping off. It really is. I'm beginning to think, too, like all these like all these things are coming out and I'm like, I think I'm the least interesting person involved with this podcast. Like everyone's like, oh my God, Lindsay built this ridiculous, like, honestly, to me, it looked like a set. It was like this backdrop with all these books hanging out. It looked like cinema. It was amazing. And then people are customizing Funko Pops and there's...
Oh yeah, I loved that.
And then De'Erica's terrified of cicadas. I mean, there's just a lot going on.
I mean, aren't we all? Actually, I feel like I have just when I was a child, the last time cicadas were a thing, like one landed right on my shirt and like just wouldn't go away. So yeah, I had to stare at it right in the eyes.
Oh no. All right, people, we got one heck of a juicy up for you today. Our second story of the day, AITA for wanting to bake my fiance's cake. But first, AITA for not going on vacay with my best friend because I want to be a quote-unquote, and I'm saying it in the quotes, slut. My best friend, Katie, F26, and I, F26, were planning to go on vacay to an island in our country with 2 other girls this summer. Since we didn't get to go anywhere last summer due to Corona, and now all of us are vaxxed, we're excited. Nothing was booked. We're planning. The 2 other girls told us today that they can't make it. Katie suggested that we go without them. The issue is that I recently got out of a long and very abusive relationship, and I finally feel happy and full of life, and I, please don't judge, want to have a hot girl summer. I like to meet guys and have fun, but if it's going to be just the 2 of us, I can't do it. We discussed it, and she said that she doesn't want to be alone, stay in the room, or go around the island without me. She was very clear I have to be with her at all times. She has a boyfriend, so double dates or even going out with a group of guys are not an option. I think it would be rude of me to abandon her in the room, but I also don't want to go on vacation and behave like I'm in a relationship. I've done that for years. I feel the need to have a wild summer. I suggested that we don't go anywhere and book a trip abroad this fall. Instead, I can go on a summer vacay with my other friends who are single. I told her she can join us if she likes, but she called me a slut who prioritizes dick over her. She texted me like 5 times to tell me what a slut I am, and I honestly don't recognize her. Of course, she has every right to be mad at me, but slut-shaming me is not okay. She also texted the other girls who were supposed to come with us to tell her how lucky they are, and they're not coming because I leave alone to go meet with dudes. I feel very hurt, but I can see why she's mad at me, AITA.
Okay, so, I mean, obviously, like, the friend took it way too far, calling her a slut and everything that ensued. And I guess just to like play devil's advocate or add some interesting elements to this, my honest thoughts are that if you are going on a vacation with just one other woman, like you, for safety reasons, like you really can't leave the other person alone. Like, I don't think that's clingy to say. I think that's honestly just the reality of the situation. And on top of that, I can understand feeling like honestly kind of salty if your friend is like, well, I don't want to spend time with you if like random dudes aren't also involved.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know you're playing devil's ad. I guess my question for you is, okay, I guess I did have the impulse to be like, isn't it a little bit controlling? I mean, are you really going to say like, you wouldn't go to a bar alone? You know?
No. If I was on vacation, like, no. In an island in our country.
Yeah, in Puerto Rico.
I guess maybe that's different, but I honestly probably wouldn't.
Yeah. Okay.
If it was another country, I certainly wouldn't.
I guess the way I see this playing out, which makes me think it is a little controlling, is like the 2 of them go to a bar. They're having a good time, you know, they're getting approached by some bros, and, you know, when the rubber finally meets the road, she's like, hey, you know, Kimmy, why don't you head out, and I'm going to go back here with Joey.
So in that situation, I feel like that's sort of a thing where it's kind of like, all right, well, you're an adult and like you're making your choices and you can't physically force someone to do anything. But I guess I feel like like this is a very unreal, like this is an extreme expectation. But if it was like, hey, like let's not go off with people that we don't know. And I'm also saying that this is an island in a different country. I would think that would be a fair expectation to set, because if you don't have those conversations, then you're going to have like a drunken fight or worse, honestly.
Yeah.
Like when it's in the moment and she wants to go and you're like, no, I don't think that's a good idea for all these reasons.
Yeah, I mean, look, I guess what I feel is that there is a betrayal here. And I respect Katie's right to have the kind of summer she wants to have. And I think she kind of knows herself. And I think she did the most fair thing. Like, she knows herself. She knows what she wants. She's foreseeing an issue. She has actually great insight into what she's going to desire, the pain points of this trip. And I get it. I mean, look, I'm trying to have, what is it? What would I be? A white Hispanic summer? Hot boy summer? Nobody ever says hot boy summer.
Nobody says
that. But I
that.
understand the impulse, certainly. I
do get it. I also feel like this friend is being unreasonable. Also, like, oh, what? You can't hang out with a group of guys just because you have a boyfriend? Like, yeah, you can. You can wing woman your friend.
No. I definitely see that as a valid pain point. Then, you're getting pressure. You get approached by two guys and one of the guys has to be let down. And then you're getting pressure psychologically. You're like, oh, no, Katie's going to hook up. Do I want to hook up? That puts you in a predicament. It's a little irresponsible. I totally think that's valid. I'm with that. Sarah. I think that's pretty reasonable.
Oh, okay. So what's the but?
Well, the but is that I actually look. I think when I look at Katie and what she did here, she said, "Listen, I don't want to go on this trip with you." And I think this is a rule with the true friend. If you're canceling on a true friend, what you say is, "Hey, I can't do this right now, but I like to do something else with you later." So she's rescheduling, and Katie did that.
She's also not the first friend to bail. Like, this is like they're the last two people standing on this trip, and the other two girls bailed first, which really just kind of fucked up the whole dynamic. So I think it's actually perfectly even more fine.
This trip fell apart.
To, like, not go. It's not like these two people had this plan or something like that for a year, and this girl's bailing all of a sudden. It's like, no, everybody else bailed.
Exactly.
And she's now just going to be the last card to fall, and she's also proposing an alternative.
It didn't add up. She offered a reschedule. She said, let's book a trip abroad this fall instead. I think that was very reasonable.
I'm also like, it's not that, Bridget, you can have a hot girl fall. Like, you can do, it doesn't matter what order you do it in.
Well, wait, what do you mean?
It's like you can do the friend trip in the summer and do a single trip in the fall. Like, I just think it's kind of funny that she's like, well, I need to have a hot girl summer. That's what she wants. So I just think it's funny.
It is funny. It is fun. Well, summer's hot. You're walking around without your clothes on. Then you think, hey, I'm going to get a massage. And then some guy beats the shit out of you. No, I mean, summer, it's a sexy time. We got our summer bodies. I mean, look, I'm willingly eating salad. I'm not enjoying it, but I'm doing it.
It's one step, I suppose.
I think Katie really did pretty much everything right here. I guess I could only say just as a tactic and not really as any kind of a criticism. I think she could have really spun this story a little differently because apparently this friend was not receptive to the I just want hot girl summer narrative. And if she had just said, like, look, I wanted this to be the four of us and maybe kind of lied to her. But actually, I don't think that would be better. I like that she was honest. She's like, this is what I want to do. And I'm not going to be able to do it with you.
Yeah, I can kind of get feeling like a little bit salty. But, I mean, yeah, I don't think it's a big deal like that she told the truth. I feel like ultimately, I think she would have probably had to do it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, the truth is the easiest thing to tell. Vegetable Tail writes, NTA, I may be jumping to conclusions here, but she sounds clingy and in a relationship or not. Being alone with her might have been taxing anyway. If she were just hurt by...
True. Oh my God. You do not know a friend until you've traveled with them.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, that's the ultimate couple test, right? If she were just hurt by the cancellation, I would say no assholes here, but the fact that she's slut-shaming you is disgusting. You're free and single. Go hop on some dudes. Not really...
Yeah.
It's not very sexy.
And that's kind of what I was saying. Like, if she hadn't taken it so over the top, I would honestly see both sides.
Yeah, well, I got no charges against Katie, but I do... Oh, I've been saying it wrong the whole time. I thought Katie was the OP. All right, so now I'm going to mount my charges against Katie. So my charges with Katie are obviously the comments she made. The fact that, yeah, I mean, you're right. If she had just gotten upset, I would understand. but it would be a no assholes
Yeah.
here. But
Because it's like, if she had just gotten upset, I would understand, because they're both kind of being realistic about the limitations of their preferred vacation.
Right.
And that's reality. Like, I don't know what to say. But obviously, this girl took it way too far, over the top. Like,
yeah.
OP's internalizing a little bit too much. Like, oh, she has every right to be mad at me. It's like, I guess, but you have every right to be mad at her now. I mean, I can be mad at my friends. I would never say something so below the belt
Yeah, I don't.
and terrible.
Maybe I don't have every right to be mad at me. I don't know if that's a helpful construction. I guess she has a right to her emotions. Yeah, I guess that's really what that means. Yeah, she does have a right to her emotions, but she doesn't have a right to then channel these emotions into insults. Really, this to me has nothing to do with slut shaming in particular. I think that's a cheap shot, a particularly cheap shot. It's really this: you're hurling insults at someone, so
Right.
it's not okay. And honestly, I thought it was rather nice of OP. She writes, and I honestly don't recognize her. I almost think that is a kind of a kindness there. It's kind of like saying, like, I don't even know who you are when you're doing this.
I mean, maybe this is a sign, unlike most Reddit posts, that's like, hey, perhaps this can be salvageable, and maybe you don't need to dump this toxic friend and go to the gym and get a lawyer and whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like, people can fall into a little spell, or they can be in some kind of way about it. Like,
yeah, someone's going through something and they take it out on you, and that's not good. But if that's not who they normally are, maybe it can be forgiven with some good apologies.
yeah, exactly. You know, and I think that's the danger too. And even though this is slut shaming of, you know, once we start to go into like, oh, this isn't just an insult, it's like politically incorrect and it's wrong, and then it starts to take on this but there's a word I want, sanctimonious is close, it's something like that, you know, this holier than thou kind of vibe. And it's like, yes, obviously if she was this, but just that it was this particular way of insulting isn't really what this needs to necessarily cut. You see what I'm saying, Sarah? Because then you start going, oh, well, Katie is also sexist. She has internalized sexism. And it's like, okay.
Well, sure, she does if she's saying that, but like, you don't need to analyze everything that deep. The point is that it was a cheap shot.
Exactly. That's exactly where I'm going. It's just like, is that really going to be helpful? Like, this is an emotional thing, and the fact that the sin here is that she's channeling her emotions into insults. The fact that she chose a very like, you know, sexist vector to use doesn't necessarily mean that you need to like come for her character at this point.
Totally.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, I think that's the line she crossed. I think that's it. I think we're lined up. I think we're 100% aligned here.
Yeah, we definitely are.
AITA for not going on vacation with my best friend because I want to be a quote unquote, and I'm quoting people, slut. We are agreeing wholeheartedly. NTA and the friend is.
Yep.
AITA for wanting to bake my fiance's cake. Ooh, interesting.
Actually, that could have been a good guess, the verdict.
Yeah, that's very good. Nick, 32M, and I, 32F, have had a long distance relationship for 5 years due to our jobs where we are often apart for months at a time. Oh, God, kill me with a gun. Him in East Africa, where we grew up.
Vivid imagery.
And me in Europe, where we lived and studied. Wow, okay, we get it. You guys are international. Lordy. We try to never let it get over 3 months apart, but often miss out on being together for things like each other's birthdays, parties, camping trips, being sick. We've been together 7 years.
I mean, yeah, we got it. Normal parts of being in a relationship.
Yeah, what kind of list is it? Birthdays?
Sorry, this is my mistake for not
parties,
cutting that superfluous
camping,
info.
trips to IKEA, when your aunt calls.
That one time he stubbed his toe. Yeah, we got it.
5 months ago.
You're apart.
5 months ago, we got engaged. I moved my job online so I could live permanently with him. 3 months ago, his brother Matt got together with Lisa, who is on a gap year. What's a gap year again? What is that, the year after college?
It's like when you take time. I thought it was when you take time off between high school and college, but
Okay.
because she's 20, so yeah, that tracks.
I don't really like these couple ages. Nick's brother Matt, 29M.
That's actually valid.
Got together with
valid. I didn't
Lisa,
even catch
20F.
that.
So he has 10 years on her, and she's 20 years old. That's a
significant 10 years.
yeah. Can you imagine if I was dating a 20-year-old? Oh my God, it's a nightmare. I managed to move back to East Africa 2 weeks ago. East Africa? That's not even a country, right? It's South Africa. What the, can you...
Okay, but you could say I decided to move to the West Coast and no one would begrudge you. Like, that's not even a state.
Okay, no, East Africa is the eastern subregion of the African continent. Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi. Okay, got it. We all, like I know anything from having read that. We all live on a farm in one house. Previously, Nick, Matt, and myself shared a flat in Europe for years. On Nick's birthday, I'd planned to bake him a cake after lunch as soon as he and the others who wanted to go on a walk had left the house, but didn't say anything to anyone. As for me, it went without saying that girlfriends bake their boyfriends cakes. During,
I guess,
after lunch coffee, Lisa starts whispering with her friend who's visiting, and they sneak off into the kitchen. I hear pots and pans and the word eggs and flour through the door and realize they have snuck out to bake the cake. I get angry because, what the hell? He's my partner. I wanted to bake for him, and why didn't they ask me if I had already planned anything? They had obviously discussed it together, and we were sitting in the living room all morning with me working while Nick and Matt were out. So it's not like they didn't have a chance. Also, the oven is really old and can only do one cake at a time. They knew this, and it was needed for dinner, so there really was only enough time for one cake. I walk into the kitchen and ask what's going on. Are you baking a cake? Yes, for Nick's birthday. I say, well, actually, I wanted to bake a cake. I thought you were going for a walk. Oh, we changed our mind. To give them credit, they put away their things and let me make the cake, but with the lame excuse they thought I was busy working. Lisa knows my work is flex, and I hadn't said anything about working in the afternoon, so it was a bull excuse. I think it was unkind and unconsiderate of her to basically try to take my chance of making a cake for my fiancé without saying anything, as if I didn't exist and wasn't there. My fiance thinks I'm the asshole because Lisa probably didn't mean anything by it. I get that she might not understand how it is apart so much and how important this cake is, but still thinks she's the asshole because IMO, any normal person would have said something to me. Later, before dinner, I told her I didn't mean for it to be weird. I hope she understands that I wanted to be able to make a cake for Nick. She said she understands but never apologized for not saying anything. So AITA.
Oh my God. This is nuts. I mean, okay, first of all, like, it does not go without saying that girlfriends bake their boyfriends a cake. Like, that's such a hyper specific thing that's not a given. But also I just feel like OP really has a bone to pick with Lisa.
OP has a bone to pick with Lisa. Well, yeah, I mean,
it's not just about the cake. It's like, no matter what this girl does, she has a problem with it. Like, she doesn't. They get this idea, they start baking the cake, they stop, they let OP take over. But, like, that's not good enough. And the fact that they squash this beef is also not good enough. And it's like, what's happening? Like, what's really going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're reading it right. I mean, I guess I could slightly say, like, maybe Lisa should have said, like, hey, what are you doing? But, like, it's not really offensive. I mean, I guess if there's a one oven house, but it doesn't really seem like, yeah, I mean, as you said, like, who would possibly assume that she was going to make a cake just because she's his girlfriend? Like, that's madness.
Yeah, I feel like OP is just expecting people to assume a lot of things. Like, she's just expecting them to read her mind, like, oh, but of course you would know that my job is flexible and you are supposed to know. And you know that the oven can only bake one cake at a time. And you also know this and that and this. And you also know that it's a tradition, apparently, to bake your boyfriend a cake. Like, this is taking a lot of things for granted. This is just a complete, like, lack of communication.
You mean... I don't understand what you mean. Who's taking things for granted?
I feel like OP is assuming that everyone else is a mind reader.
Yes, exactly. No, I think you're totally right. And then she's created this boundary, which she felt was violated and apparently wants an apology for. And it's like, no, like, nobody did nothing to you. Like, somebody was gonna bake a cake and you said something and they didn't. Like, you have not.
It's like nothing happened. Like, when I was reading this and I was reading this situation, I was like, and then I kind of assumed that she would ask them to stop baking the cake and they'd be like, well, no. And then there would be a problem, but it was just like, there was actually no problem, so nobody needs to apologize.
There was nothing happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, they don't need to apologize for not knowing your random cake rule.
Right.
That's it.
Lively Sally writes, you didn't say anything to anyone. It was already the middle of the day on his birthday. She was unkind and inconsiderate for wanting to do something nice. Do you expect her to be a mind reader, YTA? Yeah, I think that's well put. Like, who
Yeah.
could possibly hold all this information in their heads? Like, only OP.
Yeah.
A lot of YTAs. OP left a comment. Is this what I'm seeing here? Stupendous. I'm not pissed.
Yes.
So someone wrote, Boxing Helena, YTA, all this because you got what you wanted and you seem to decide what Lisa does and doesn't know without asking her. OP replied, I'm not pissed she stopped. I'm pissed she didn't talk to me. Her plans were to go on a walk, had talked about it all morning. How should I know she suddenly changed her mind if she only whispers in front of me rather than talk to me? Oh. I gotta say, that's weird.
I guess it is a little bit weird to change your plans at the last minute to go do something else. To go do something for this guy, Nick. I'm actually wondering if, and I don't know if this is too conspiracy town, but I'm wondering if like OP feels insecure about the fiance's relationship with Lisa.
I'm thinking something is sus here. Because what's this whispering, Sarah? Whispering in front of her? I feel like Lisa is playing some kind of mind game.
Like to do what?
To mess with OP, you know? She's 20, she's immature, she's like low-key messing with OP.
I could see that. I could also just see, like, I feel like, okay, because I fall into this pit trap, honestly, because I just expect people to know what I'm thinking. I'm actually a very bad communicator, but it's like when you think something is supposed to go a certain way in your head, then you just interpret everything else, I don't know, wrongly, and then you just ascribe the wrong intentions to other people. So I guess for that reason, it's hard for me to, like, trust OP's account of what was really happening, because I feel like you wanted it to be malicious, so you saw what you wanted to see.
I know, but the holistic picture here on Lisa is shifting for me, and this is causing me issues.
But maybe they were was he in the room? Like, maybe they were whispering because he was in the house.
That's a pretty good defense. I don't know, but then OP gets angry at that point at the whispering. Was there a part here about the cake that the cake thing was a tradition, or did I just say it's their tradition?
She just says, like, oh, and it goes without saying that girlfriends bake their boyfriends a cake. And I'm like, does it?
Yeah.
Do I have to start baking cakes?
Yeah. I don't know. There's not enough. I don't think we have enough to convict Lisa for anything, but it is suspicious. I wonder a little bit. Username 52. YTA, because as soon as you said that you wanted to do it, they said okay and put the stuff back. I mean, they were respectful, even if they were running.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if it was really some kind of weird ploy, they would have put up a fight.
Yeah. Umi, look, I understand it's important to you, and that's more than okay. However, Lisa can't know the trials and tribs of having an LDR. Why should she apologize? She didn't impede you. She most likely didn't mean anything by it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, actually, the only thing she meant by it probably was, like, to do something nice.
Yeah. I mean...
I guess OP does have a comment. She says, like, I agree I don't own him, just that it's pretty normal to plan something for your partner and grown-ups can talk to each other, so why not include me? Which is, like, yeah, that's fair. Like, if I was going to do something for your boyfriend in front of you, I would obviously include you.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting suspicious here. I smell something in the water because I almost feel like it does seem like a very natural question. Like, hey, what are you doing for, what's his name? Nick today? You know, it almost does seem, and then the whispering is weird, and I am wondering if there is a little bit of excluding happening. I mean, presumably Lisa's 20, so her friend's 21. So they're little kids hanging around a grown woman. So I guess that kind of split does make sense, really, because, like, what are you going to talk about?
Yeah.
I mean, if there was...
I wonder how long has... Okay, so they won't... But I guess it's like, at first I thought maybe she's insecure because, like, Lisa has gotten to know all these guys, like, better because she is in the area, but she's only been with the brother for 3 months.
Oh, God.
So I'm like, how much damage could barely be done?
Yeah. This is a weird one. I could almost go info-ish, but I think we can just play it as it lays. AITA for one.
I think there's definitely more going on, so, like, I want to see a follow-up, but honestly, yeah, I feel like just based on the situation, I'll go YTA, but it's also just, like, there's something under there.
Well, why is she the asshole? Just because she low-key hates Lisa? I would say no assholes here.
Really? I feel like her attitude is like kind of asshole-ish. Like she's demanding an apology for something that is a non-issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. It's the demanding of an apology. It just doesn't seem, but does it make you an asshole to demand? Well, her feelings were hurt. I don't actually think that makes you an asshole. I guess there's just a general tonality I don't like, but if she were to go to Lisa and say, hey, look, I know you didn't mean anything by it, but it really hurt my feelings when you started baking the cake. You know,
But she did that. This
What
is
do
the
you
thing.
mean?
Like, it's not, are you an asshole? This is not like a character judgment. It's just like, who's wrong in this situation? And it's like, yeah, I think you're wrong to hold on to this over this non-issue and demand and like still be salty that you don't have an apology. To me, a YTA in this situation is just like, get over yourself. But not you're like an asshole.
I don't know. I think I disagree with you. I don't think she did anything wrong. What did she do wrong? She asked them to stop making the cake and then she wants an apology. It's okay to want an apology. It just is. Sometimes things hurt. You know, I had a friend make a comment to me one time and he just said, oh, your jokes are dad jokes. And I don't know why. It just hit me. It stuck in my craw. And I said, hey, man, I know you meant nothing by it, but like that just stuck in my craw. Could I just get an apology for that? And he was like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't even mean that. Done. You know, like, I don't know. I just don't think that makes you an asshole that she wants an apology. Am I misunderstanding? She's hurt.
Like, no, but I don't know. It's, I'm almost feeling like
I guess, okay.
this, how the person in the comment on the Patreon about your situation with the rooftop was like, you just made this whole situation to try to make your friend look bad, which like I thought was a reach, but actually I feel this whole post was an attempt to try to make this person look bad.
Okay.
And
I'm with you there because I'm with you there because look, I can say OP does seem like they're kind of painting a picture because they're trying to make it all normative. They're like, I still think she's the asshole because IMO, any normal person would have said something to me. So it's like, oh, so now I guess Lisa isn't normal. Instead of just being simple and being like, you know what? Honestly, Lisa, you didn't do anything wrong. It just hurt my feelings.
I feel like honestly, you're very like advanced in the realm of like nicely asking for apologies from people. And most people just aren't like that.
Hey, it's mission critical. You got to be able to resolve conflicts. It's part of life.
Yeah.
AITA for wanting to bake my fiance's cake. Once again, we come back to this. I'm still at no assholes here. No, I'm not. Because she was trying to attack. I think you're right. She posted this not to gain insight. She posted this to fucking try to bury Lisa because she does have some issues with Lisa. And I'm not ready to say Lisa is a positive force. She's definitely at least chaotic.
Yeah. Keep an eye. Definitely. What is it like? Chaotic neutral or something? I don't know. Keep an eye on her.
I'm gonna say YTA with an asterisk because I have my doubts about Lisa. But
I'm down. Like Lisa can still be like an asshole and suck, but like in this specific circumstance, maybe not.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap up here on a listener submish AITA for showing up my cousin at her wedding. Oh, boy. So for clarification, my cousin and her then fiancé and I used to live together. They planned on finding a different place after they got married, but we got along and I've known her fiancé most of my life since he was my sister's best friend, so it was no big deal. However, about a month before they got married, I was taking a shower, and when I was getting a dress, I noticed a phone under the door, and before I could really react, it was pulled away, so I freaked out. I ran outside and called my boyfriend, and while I was on the phone, fiance came out and pretty much told me I had boobs, so it was my fault.
What the fuck? No.
This is crazy. A phone under the door? Does that... I don't know.
Gross.
I can't physically imagine that working, but I suppose it could. He told...
What? Like that excuse?
Just physically, I can't imagine sliding. I guess my phone has a case, so you could slide.
Yeah, if you don't have a case on it, you can
slide it under the door,
I
and then you're looking up. Yeah, I could. All right. Okay.
Yeah. People do like those upskirt photos.
I guess you're right. All right. He told me he watched me grow up to a beautiful girl, and I didn't wear a bra all the time in my own home. So clearly, I was asking for it. I was kind of shocked, so I ended leaving and staying with my boyfriend, but I told him if he doesn't tell my cousin what he did, I would. My cousin has a tendency to not believe people and just think they're jealous of her. So about 2 weeks ago, go by and I haven't heard anything. IDK what I expected. But I assumed I'd get phone call to confirm it or even just to check on me, but my cousin never did. So I called her maid of honor, who's another cousin. Damn, a lot of cousins. And told her the situation and asked what I should do since they're getting married in 2 weeks. She said she'd take care of it, and that day I got a phone call from my cousin telling me she's known for a week and I need to stop spreading it around. She said it was my fault anyway and he did nothing wrong and I'm trying to ruin her day.
Wow.
I just...
Throw the whole family away.
So I decided I wasn't going to the wedding, but I kept getting pestered and told I was being rude for changing my mind last minute. And even my cousin was in on it, telling everyone how selfish I was being. So I said, fine.
Why do you want her
I know,
there?
right? I made myself up. I dyed my hair for the first and did a neon red. I wore a navy blue dress with see-through cutouts, thigh-high stocking, red heels. What are cutouts like?
I don't know how else to describe it. Like panels in the dress that are cut out.
Okay. Like revealing what part of your body.
Yeah, it depends where you place them.
I went all out and I showed off a tattoo my very conservative family would be talking about since I was the good child who would never get a tattoo. Oh, and I decided not to wear a bra since that was the offending move that started it all. By the end of...
Well, of course, many formal dresses don't require you to wear a bra, but sure.
Okay, good. I didn't know that. Thank you.
I'm just saying, that's not like... I mean, depending on the dress and your boob size, that's not in and of itself like a huge act of rebellion. But obviously, I'm enjoying the subtle jab.
She's spinning it. She's spinning it. Let her spin.
It's a good narrative.
By the end of the reception, my cousin came up to me and asked if I dressed like that because I was mad at her. Apparently, it had gotten around that more people were talking about me than her. And I looked her dead in the face and asked, why? Is there something I should be mad at you for? I played up the innocent routine and acted like I had no idea what she was talking about, but I did exactly what I set out to do, and everyone talked about me even to this day. I'm the most remembered thing at her wedding. Am I the asshole?
Oh boy. I mean, yikes. I still question there's not a lot that I can come for the OP for, because what happened to her is horrible, and the cousin and her husband are complete and utter garbage.
Ooh, I'll push there. I'll push back there.
Oh,
absolutely. I think that she's in a real bind. She is in a bind.
Like, listen, I guess I just don't know how to say that. Like, you finding out that your fiance is a sex offender, like, is that a bind? It's like you call it off, you lose money, but.
Sarah.
I don't know.
Sarah. I mean, look, I think sex offender.
Are you kidding?
Sex offender, yes, legally, I'm with you. Obviously, I think this behavior is illegal, wildly unacceptable, disgusting, putrid, and I would advocate anyone whose boyfriend does something like this, that they leave them, of course. Of course. But I do think that I can understand why someone who's about to get married to this person in 2 weeks is struggling to just like take that information in when I guess I just understand.
I mean, it's denial.
It's denial and minimization.
But like that also doesn't make you less trash, I think. Like I can understand it, but I don't know that I'm really sympathizing.
Yeah, I guess what I see is that it's such a toxic response. It's such a, it's so insane for her to minimize it, right? Because it's cheating. That's the other aspect of this, right? Like it's obviously cheating. It's looking at another woman, so it's completely unacceptable on that route as well. And yeah, I mean, it is a sex offense. I guess you're right. I can't really defend.
Because, like, I can understand. I know it's like, it's got to be really hard. I'm sure that's a lot of information to process. And I can, like, logically understand why someone would just, like, kind of shut down and just go into, like, full steam ahead, gonna sort of sweep this under the rug mode. But that doesn't give you a pass just because I know why you would do that. And I know that that's a hard thing to do.
You're right.
And then it's also like I don't know why like this cousin like wanted OP at the wedding so badly. Like what were you sort of trying to prove or undermine maybe? Like this is someone who ultimately doesn't support your marriage for good reason. So why are you trying to like pressure her into coming?
That's the crazy thing, really. That's where things fly off. It's like clearly clearly that she should not have gone. I guess that was just part of the narrative that this wife to be, the bride to be, was telling herself, that like, let's just play it.
I think she had to have the OP go so that she could sort of tell herself that nothing really had happened.
And then OP actually ended up fulfilling that fantasy, and she played along.
Yeah.
Interesting, man. This is a fucked up family. I mean, I love OP.
Super
OP,
fucked
you
up.
did nothing wrong. OP did nothing wrong. By the way, we have a mug with that on it. Let me know if you guys want it.
Oh my God, yeah.
OP did nothing wrong. I mean, OP is a hero, low-key own. Your cousin is a little weirdo, and I don't know why she had this reaction, and there really is no defending them. I mean...
It's like, I get why, but it's just, no, that's not right. So...
It's not right. I mean, but maybe that's it, Sarah. Okay, you know what? This is it. For some reason, this is where it is. This is why I feel the inclination to defend the cousin, because she is so blatantly a victim as well. Obviously not to the same degree, whatever, because she wasn't sexually offended. But in the sense of, why the fuck is this whole family so damn toxic that everyone around her isn't being like, dump his ass, right? So in other words, what's going on in her head?
I feel like there's a lot of toxic families that have like bad situations happen that everybody just sweeps under the rug.
And that I think is why I had this intuition that maybe it's not just her, right? She's in a milieu where she feels pressured to not disclose what happened and to deny and minimize what happened. And that was actually easy for her, because that's how messed up her family is, that they're like, oh yeah, no, let's totally just pretend that doesn't happen. You need to be married. Because she says they're a conservative family. Not saying all conservatives are like that or anything, but apparently there's some weirdness here.
Like, honestly, it could be, but it also just could be like an individual problem. I mean,
it could be.
I don't really know one way or the other. I feel like if that should happen to my family, obviously, like, that fiance would get ostracized. But then again, I don't know. Then it's like, if you're fiercely standing by your man, then your family also has no choice but to be like, okay.
Yeah.
I could see either way, but I mean, to me, actually, what's kind of the weirdest part is that the most remembered thing at her wedding is not this girl showing a little cleavage, but it's the fact that, so it's that, and not the fact that, like, the wife married this, like, violator, peeping Tom. Like, that should be the most remembered part.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, she showed some tattoos and a little boob.
Neon
like,
red.
You're right. What is wrong with this family?
Sarah, navy blue dress. By the way, OP,
her hair's neon red.
That is, I mean, that pops. OP's, come on. Send that to me or Sarah, please.
I don't know. More than like a real life Law and Order SVU episode, I guess it's like just a matter of personal.
You got to send us the pic, OP.
Preference.
We won't share it publicly, but I think send it to me or Sarah, please. Yeah. So this family is weird. I mean, I think you're right. It could just be that this particular cousin is weird. I also was thinking about peeping Tom, right? Because I think we've kind of gone back on like the seriousness of this. Obviously, it's like insanely unacceptable and illegal and terrible. But peeping Tom is kind of like silly. It's like, oh, he's a little peeper. It's like, no, he's fucking sick.
I mean, I wonder if that's also like, I feel like there are so many terms that just downplay the severity of what people do. So I wonder if that's kind of like a cutesy little, like...
He's just a cutesy little peeping Tom, taking a little peep. It's like...
no.
He's a predator. That's very... Yeah.
Yes, that's the word.
Courtney, yes, YTA. Obviously what happened to you is disgusting and wrong, but that's how you deal with it. Ariana M, NTA, she refused to address creep behavior, then called you selfish for not being willing to be around a creep. Fuck them. And T, the legend herself, normally pulling that sort of stunt at someone's wedding is an asshole move. But I think this is a suitable way of exacting revenge when your privacy was violated and then your feelings were dismissed. Good job, OP, NTA, and that was incredibly articulate. Perfectly put.
Oh, yeah.
Hope W, ESH, but I love the movie levels of pettiness. No, Hope. I simply cannot come for OP.
Yeah.
Like, in this case, it's like, she dressed ridiculously at the wedding, but then she really did give little denier cousin what she wanted and was like, what would I be upset about? I mean, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. True. It was well done.
Love it. Honestly, I love a play dumb move. Like, that is low-key one of my favorites.
Toots F, you all suck. The perverts suck the most. You and the other cousin are immature jerks. The pervert should have charges filed against him. That would have been a way to go nuclear, but then the cousin would have really hated you.
Yeah, right? Get served at the wedding. I mean, yeah, like what OP did was a little bit immature, but so.
Karen S.
I also feel like then at the same time, like not starting a fight at the wedding was actually quite mature.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to level out on mature here, I think.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. You're gonna level out on mature?
Yeah, like I'm gonna actually just give her more on the mature side versus like, yeah, maybe it's a little bit immature to purposely go to someone's wedding to try to get attention. But then also, she could have started a fight, but she didn't.
Yep.
Which actually takes a lot
and
of
she
maturity.
tried not to go to the wedding. She just went to the wedding on her own terms when she was forced.
I'm just saying, like, in a vacuum.
No, OP, you're awesome. You're great. And Brian G writes, it's like everyone forgot ESH is an option here. The fiance is obviously awful and the law should have been brought into it. The cousin is awful for not believing or not taking seriously her fiance's pervy criminal behavior. OP was on the right track with not going to the wedding, but then went and got petty AF. All things OP did to bring attention on herself that she knew would be viewed negatively makes her awful too. No, I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could run the analysis that, I mean, OP, the thing is, OP was basically, look, everyone heard, right? Everybody heard. Realistically, everybody heard. Everyone knew what happened, right? And everyone wanted to hide it. And so, in a sense, OP was just saying, yes, it did happen. It did happen. So remember it happened to me, you motherfuckers. Right? Like, it was also a sign to the family, you know? It was like, if you guys are going to be shitty about this and try to hide this, then fuck off and check out my tattoo. Yep. This is my hair. This is my dress. Fuck you.
Yeah, honestly.
You know? And they brought it among themselves because they demanded she go, which was really another form of denial and minimization.
It's true. They
right?
did bring it
Put
among
away
themselves.
your feelings and just go. Just go. Pretend it didn't happen. That's all they wanted OP to do. And OP did that.
And she did, but she did it with like a little bit of like, fuck you. Like a very, not like a subtle fuck you because everyone saw it, but like a very unspoken fuck you, which
was
was
a
great.
well-played fuck you. It was brilliant.
Yes,
I have a crush on
I think
OP,
we agree.
but I'm very emotionally damaged right now. So it doesn't matter.
Oh boy.
AITA. I think that's the first time I've hit on a submitter. I think that's the first time. So.
Oh boy. First time for everything.
Anyway, maybe just send your pic to Sarah. I'm a creep. AITA for showing up my cousin at her wedding. I think we agree. I'm ready to go YTH on this. Why? You're the hero. You're a legend. You love to hear it.
Let's go.
And I apologize if I came off as a peeping Tom apologist in any way. I was just trying to suss out kind of the logic. I obviously, it's very wrong. Just making sure, just covering my bases, not to offend. But if you ever are offended or you have a criticism, please put it in the submish. I will read it. We'll read it on the show. We'll talk about it.
Danny will read it and then
Absolutely. I may. We're trying to get a cry on the Patreon. It hasn't happened. The timing hasn't been right. Nonetheless, folks, much love. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next Monday morning.
Bye.